Hello all you beautiful people, how are you doing today? This is Lava Temptress and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, hi, welcome, how are you doing? Today we're going to be talking about a Sky Factory 4 tutorial, a mod that I will go into a deeper delve. It is the Cyclic mod. Today we're only going to be talking about certain portions of it. We're going to be talking about item nodes, fluid nodes, and energy nodes, and what all we could do with those, plus the recipes to make everything to go with it. So, yeah, if you're interested, stick around. Alright, so first of all, we're going to need a lot of these GPS markers. So whatever machine you're going to use, or whatever tank you want to put it in, wherever you want to put your energy to, which I use most of mine for energy, let's face it, then you're going to want a GPS marker for each one of these. Now, so that's going to be a light blue dye, but you can also use other light blue. Let me see. Now, to start off with, you're only going to have the light blue, but there's also the light blue bottle dye that'll work, and there's a light blue right here, dye powder. So those will work too, but when you're starting, you're going to have more access to light blue dye. So light blue dye, paper, and a stick. One of each will make one GPS marker. And like I said, we're going to be needing a lot of those. So, but you can also make them as you go. So, all right, we're going to start out with the recipes, and then we'll get into how we make what we can do with each one of them. So the recipe for the energy node, all the nodes are going to have the iron bars on the four corners, and then the rest of the recipe will differ a little bit. So this one includes 2 redstone comparators on either side, a block of redstone in the middle, and a nether brick on the top and bottom. And that's going to give us our energy node. Next node we have is the item node, and again it has the 4 iron bars on the outside, a gold block in the middle, 2 diamonds on the top and bottom, and redstone comparators on either side. And that is our item transfer node. Now for the fluid transfer node, this one takes a little bit more because of the sponge. But once you get the stuff to make it, it won't be so bad. So again, iron bars on the 4 outsides, sponge on the top and bottom, block of gold in the middle, and 2 prismarine shards on either side. And that is our fluid transfer node. Now we're going to need 2 different kinds of cables. The first one of each is going to be the extraction. So for instance, for this one, we're going to need the energy extraction cable. And so for each of these recipes, it's going to be a dropper in the middle. And then for the energy one, we're going to have redstone on the 4 corners and a weighted pressure plate in the bottom. Now the weighted pressure plate in the dropper is the same for all the extraction cables. It just differs for what's on the outside. So for our energy extraction cable, this is what we will need. You will need 1 for everything that you're pulling energy from. Not what you're putting energy into, just pulling energy from. So whether you have lava generators or solar panels or whatever it is, you're going to need 1 of these to hook up to each of those machines. Next, we have the cables, and each recipe makes 8. So for the energy cables, we're going to use 4 redstone and 4 brick stairs on the outside. Why brick stairs? I don't know. I think this recipe is kind of weird, but whatever, it works. So that each one of those will make 8. Now, for the item extraction recipe, we're going to use iron nuggets on the 4 corners, and again, the dropper in the middle and the weighted pressure plate in the bottom. And that will give us 1 item extraction cable. Same thing here, you're going to need 1 item extraction cable for every place that you're pulling the items from. Not where you're putting them through, any place you're pulling them out of, okay? Then we have our item cables, and again, the recipe makes 8, and it's going to be brick stairs on the outside and iron nuggets. Not ingots, those are nuggets. Iron nuggets on the 4 insides. Okay, that'll use 8. Now for the fluid one, we're going to again use the dropper and the weighted pressure plate, and then we're going to use gold nuggets on the outside. And same thing, fluid extraction cable, one on each thing that you're pulling the fluid from. Then we have the fluid cables, and that's brick stairs with gold nuggets. All recipes make 8. All right, so let's get into the really important part. What are we going to use these for, right? Okay, so let's start with the energy one, because this is the one I use the absolute very most. So in order to do this, I just put a creative battery block down here. But for instance, if you're using, I started out with lava generators. So whatever the block is, whatever you're using, what you're going to do is put an energy extraction cable on it. It can be from any side, it can be from top, bottom, that doesn't matter. It just matters that when you put it down, the white part is against whatever you're pulling the energy from. Then we're going to take our transfer node and put it on the other side of this. You don't have to have an extra cable in between it, just so you know. So when we look here, we can increase our transfer rate. You can have it, if you want to limit it, go ahead and do that. But if you don't want it, if you don't care, if you have plenty of energy, just put it all the way up. So that depends on how you want it. But then we're going to that did not place down right. All right, so we're going to place this down there. And as you see, our energy is automatically going in there. But we can also increase the transfer rate. Now, this transfer rate is going to be the rate that we transfer to the machines and everything. You can also have it on where it requires redstone or where it's always on. And if you do the preview, it'll show you where it's going. Now, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take one of these GPS markers. Now, here's the thing. If you have a whole bunch of GPS markers in your inventory, or if you have them in a stack, and say I shift on this one because I want to send some energy to here. So whatever machines that we want to send it to. So we're going to shift right click, and it'll say saved at the bottom, and it'll save whatever block this location is. But the problem is we just tied all of them to there. But that's okay if you do that, because you can just redo it. So we're going to put this in, and with the preview on, it'll show you where the energy is going to, which is pretty cool. But I don't always want to see that, so you can also just turn it off. So now if we look in here, we can see it is fully powered. As long as this has power going to it, this will stay powered. So that is the cool thing about these transfer nodes. They are amazing, and I absolutely love them. And I know most of you will too. All right, so it is already transferring our power here, and no big deal. So this will always have power. Now, if we pick this up, put it down over here, you can see it no longer has power. However, the spot is still linked to that GPS. So if I put it back down, wrong spot. If I put it back down, still wrong spot? Where did we have it? There? Aha, there. And this also works where you can put a different machine down here. So if you have a certain spot that you're going to want to power stuff, but maybe you're in the beginning and you don't have a lot of power, or for whatever reason, you can pick up your machines, and as long as you put them back in the same spot, it'll still keep that. But you can also put 10 in here at a time. And if you click on the detect target block, it'll tell you down here what it's going to. So it tells us it's our industrial foregoing mob duplicator machine. Sweet. So if you have a whole bunch in here and you can't remember which one's to what because you moved it or whatever, just click on the thing. Like that one says there is no GPS marker. But for instance, let's see. I know it's silly that we tied it to that one, but if we tie it to that one, it'll now say it's to our tier 4 coupled generator. Obviously, it doesn't need power, so it's not going to steal any power from it, but it'll tell us. It'll also tell you if it's air in case you had something there but you moved it. So that's a very, very nice feature. And that works the same way on all the transfer nodes. It doesn't matter if it's energy, item, or fluid. All right, so let's go into, that is the energy one. Energy one's pretty simple. Just wherever you need energy, that's what you do. Now let's go into the item one. So we're going to grab everything we need for the item transfer. And I already linked this one, but I don't need that. So we're going to relink that. So we want to pull cobble. So we're going to, again, put our item transfer node down here. We can click on it and we can tell it how far we want it to transfer. You see where I'm going with this, right? This changes lava generation so much. It's awesome. Okay, so then we put our transfer node on top, just like we did with the energy. We can have it where it's always on or where it just keeps going. Again, you can also have the preview on. So let's say we want, that one's full. I know, this one right here. So let's say, let's shift and right click on this right here. It's just one of the wooden storage cables. There we go, wooden crate. So we're gonna go put it in here just like we did with the energy. We're gonna put it right in there. It's gonna tell us where it's at, the wooden crate. And it's upside down for some reason, but you can see it is going in there automatically. Now when it's full, it'll stop going in there. But also, if you have cauldrons or whatever, you're trying to make lava generation, you can put them in those. You can put them in all kinds of stuff. And it will just keep going. Now you can increase your transfer rate and you can turn it to always on or requiring a redstone. So, and you can put it on chests, you can put it on the storage crates, you can put it on the cauldrons. In my world, I have it on the cauldrons because lava generation. All right, easy peasy, right? Okay, so for the next one, we are gonna do a fluid transfer. Now, fluid transfer works the same as everything else. For instance, here we have infinite water. We're going to set our extraction cable on it, and we're going to set our fluid transfer node up on top. So we want all of it. It'll always show whatever we have here. That's one thing I want to say. This will always transfer whatever's in here. So you're probably going to only want to use it for things that you want to transfer one specific item to different things. Unless you have, unless you have like say you have a harvester going and you're harvesting all your materials. As long as this isn't backed up, it'll continue to send it wherever you want. So if you have multiple items, make sure you're sending it to something like a chest or something, because this will obviously only accept one item. So for the fluid, obviously you can only do one type of fluid for each transfer node. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's say we're going to take one of these GPS markers. Let's say we want it to go into this tank here. So we're going to shift right click at the tank. We're going to come in here, we're going to pop it in there, and it's automatically going to start putting it all in the tank. Now I did it to the second one here, and as you can see, it's filling up the lower ones, but as it fills up the second one, it's going to stop. So whatever one you click on, see, I have it higher, but it's not filling it up, even though there is plenty of water still in here, obviously. So what you would want to do is instead, we're going to take that back out. We're going to click on one of the top ones. Let's see if we can get the very top one. So instead, you want to click on the highest one you have. Then if we add that, now you can see it's continuing to add, and it will completely fill it up until it's all full. But I wanted you to keep that in mind, because if you do it lower, it's not going to fill it up all the way. So you want to do what your highest tank is. Now you could also do it, well, we don't need water in here, but for instance, if we had a tank, let's see if there's one that we can grab out. Whoops. Essence. I just did this on my playthrough Actually, there is not a tank full of essence. Okay, but let's grab out a tank. Alright, so for instance, if we had tanks here, we're running one of the machines that puts essence in it. And we're going to put a fluid extractor on here. And let's, I know I did extra, there we go. So we're going to put another one on top of here. Whoops. If I stop clicking on it, there we go. So it's automatically going to pull it into here, so don't get scared if it disappears from here. But we're going to have it at a fluid transfer rate high, and we're going to take a GPS and tell it to go into our mob duplicator here. So we're going to tell that to automatically send it to our mob duplicator. And see, even though you didn't see any there, it's still here. And as the machine's running, as you're getting more essence from however you're getting it, then it's automatically going to go over there, whoops, until that is full. And then once it's full, then you'll start seeing it in the tank here again. But you'll see it automatically disappear, and a lot of people freak out because, you know, where did my stuff go? Well, if it's going to the machine, that's fine because that's where it needs to be. But if you don't see it, see it's full now, and we don't see any in here, but it does say we have 4,000 in here out of 10,000. It just doesn't show us what it is. So there's multiple uses for this. It's a fantastic addition to the pack, and I think once you figure out how to use this, it is really, really great. Especially, you know, who likes all those energy cables running all over the place, or trying to run things from one place to another, or fluids, and constantly having one thing hooked up to another. And again, if you forget where something is, you can always hit the preview, and it'll show you directly where it is going on any of these. So pretty awesome. Again, it's cyclic. I am going to go into a full cyclic mod preview because this mod just has so much to offer. But this is one of the amazing things that it does for Sky Factory 4 that I am just absolutely thrilled with. So if you have any questions or comments about this, please leave it down below. I'm more than happy to help out wherever I can. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you give a thumbs up because it really helps me out and lets me know you guys are enjoying these. Alright, until next time, this is Lava Temptress. Don't get burned. Bye!